All right, man, peace. You know, brothers, I'm just here reviewing some of the statements that former New York Knicks legend and current broadcaster Walt Clyde Frazier made in regards to Kevin Durant and his belief that Kevin Durant's accomplishments should have an asterisk next to them because being an all-time and transcendent player, as he views Kevin Durant to be, he should not have decided to go to the Golden State Warriors. It's just very obvious to me that Kevin Durant is never really going to get the acceptance and the respect of many of the old-time greats unless he leaves Golden State and leads another team to a championship. So anyway, they're going to talk about it, and I'm going to chime in.
And let's kick things off with a little shade thrown at Kevin Durant by a Knicks legend. Two-time NBA champion Walt Clyde Frazier was asked about two-time NBA champion Kevin Durant on Sirius XM NBA radio, and Clyde criticized KD's decision to join the Warriors in 2016. Take a listen to this.
Durant, I mean, as great a player he is, I would still hold back because, man, he joined a team that really didn't need him.
Well, you know what, brother? That's why I have to cut you off and disagree. Because many of Kevin Durant's detractors have tried to make this assertion that he went to a team that did not need him. And it was very clear to me in the aftermath of Golden State giving up that 3-1 lead to the Cleveland Cavaliers that they could not bring back the same team. There was just no way that they would be able to bring back that same team into the 2016-2017 season and be able to defeat the Cleveland Cavaliers again. Ever. And when I say again, I mean regular season games, finals, whatever. That team would have had a psychological grasp on the 2016 team coming into the 2016-2017 season. They had to shake up the roster. And Kevin Durant fit in perfectly. KD was basically a hired gun who was tired of where he was located before. And he needed a change of scenery. Golden State needed someone who could dominate in a half-court offensive set and who could bring some one-on-one gusto. They just didn't have that. Of course, Steph Curry is a great one-on-one player, but he's shown that in the playoffs, when the style of play can get more physical, that he can be distracted. I'm not going to say totally taken out of his game, but Steph Curry has consistently shown that physical play can and will distract him. And he needed a boost, and that came in the form of Kevin Durant. Not only Steph Curry, but their entire team needed a boost for the playoffs because their style of play was not conducive to being able to defeat many of these teams in the playoffs. And it may sound strange that I'm saying this with the way in which Golden State has dominated in the playoffs the last couple of years. But for those of us who remember, even in 2016, the Golden State Warriors struggled in the playoffs, albeit with a hampered Steph Curry. But all in all, I mean, let's be for real, they should have lost to OKC. If OKC had been able to close the deal and they had a point guard who could actually make good decisions in close situations, in adverse situations, someone who could steady the ship, which Russell Westbrook is not that person. That is why KD left. So both parties, Golden State and KD, has something to gain by their union. So this notion that the Golden State Warriors did not need Kevin Durant, that's a fallacy. They didn't need him if they wanted to be able to defeat LeBron. Because LeBron would have came into Oracle Arena like a juggernaut had they brought back that same team.
You know what I mean? I mean, he's right there with LeBron. Probably will surpass LeBron as the best player in the game soon. But for him doing that, I still don't give him the full credit that he probably would have deserved if he stayed with OKC and won a title with that team. He's going to be down the list for me because of that, you know, because there will be a asterisk by his name. It's not something that I would have done. I would have never joined West or Russell or Chamberlain, you know.
Well, brother, that's easy for you to say because your mindset is different. You played in a different era. You guys were not allowed to leave your teams. And beyond that, the money just was not there. But I guarantee you, had your contract been expiring and the LA Lakers said, Clyde Frazier, we need you. We need you to pair up in the backcourt with Jerry West. We're going to pay you more money than you've ever seen in your life. I guarantee you, you would have transplanted. It's easy for a lot of old heads to get on the microphone and talk about what they would not do if they played today. But in all actuality, a lot of these guys are just jealous that they're not making the money that these players are making today. It's very, very unfortunate. At the end of the day, you should always want to see your son do better than you, make better decisions than you made, learn from your mistakes. So thankfully, A lot of these cats who are in the NBA now understand that there's no such thing as loyalty in professional sports. So they should be loyal to themselves and not be scared to uproot. That's a part of life.
I want to kick their butt.
I mean, I was waiting for him to find a word to rhyme with asterisks. KD is one of just 6 different players ever to win consecutive Finals MVPs. So, Brian, what do you make of Walt Frazier's comments?
Some may call it shade, some may call it criticism. I call it this opening salvo and the recruitment of KD to the Knicks.
I partially agree with you, sir, even though I think that what Walt Frazier stated came from a sincere place. I do believe that is how he feels, but I also believe that there may be some chicanery afoot. There may be some Machiavellian motivation there. And I do believe that there is a partial motivation from Clyde Frazier to try to instigate Kevin Durant to leave Golden State. There's no doubt in my mind that not only Clyde Frazier, but most of the liberal sports media are trying to separate the Golden State Warriors so that they can give LeBron James a higher level opportunity to win a championship. But in regards to Clyde, it would not surprise me if he thinks that maybe making some inflammatory statements about KD may up the Knicks' chances of acquiring him. But I also think that many of his statements, however inflammatory as they might seem, were coming from a real place and a genuine place. And I have no doubt that many of the old-time players share his sentiments.
What?
Because nobody.
How does that work?
Few people are synonymous with the Knicks, as
Yes.
Clyde Frazier is, and this is him saying, "Hey, listen, you want to be elevated, you want to be seen higher in the eyes of the greats. Come win a championship for a great franchise." And maybe Walt isn't actually thinking that way, but that's essentially what he's saying: is you got to go do this on your own. And I'm gonna tell you, I think that Kevin Durant owes no apologies to anybody. They don't win that title last year without him. This year it was a little more lopsided, but he won them the title in 2017. He was a huge factor in this year's playoff run because Steph was knocked out. No matter what anybody says, Kevin Durant is a champion they can't take anything away from. But we know that his skin is thin on this.
Does reverse psychology work on you?
We'll see what happens. Once again, at the end of this up-and-coming regular season, there are going to be some pivotal moments that occur that are going to stipulate whether or not Kevin Durant decides to stay with the Golden State Warriors. And if they make any wrong moves, it would not surprise me if you have certain teams that are able to utilize Machiavellian tactics to hopefully reel in Mr. Kevin Durant. And the New York Knicks may be one of them. For all intents and purposes, according to many of the top NBA pundits, New York is a scene that many of the players are starting to look to as a viable option.
On you, Brian?
It does not.
Okay, just checking.
There you go. But after listening to Mr. Frazier's comments, guys, I want to take all my money and go to Vegas and not just burn it playing blackjack like I usually do, but put it on Durant to win the MVP. Because this is going...
We'll see what happens. It's going to be very difficult for a player like Kevin Durant to win a regular season NBA MVP award playing with another player who is pretty much on his level in a Steph Curry. They normally cancel one another out. The one season that he was able to win the NBA MVP award in the regular season was 2014, which was when, for the most part, Russell Westbrook was hurt for a lot of that season.
Going to fuel him like every other slight, talking about the thin skin, and he's going to go in and say, you know what, I got one more Hall of Famer to prove wrong. But I mean, Frazier played on a team full of Hall of Famers. That's the part.
Well, but I guess my question is that his point, though? Can Kevin Durant ever win MVP on the Golden State Warriors because he plays alongside all those great players in this day and age?
I think he can. I absolutely think he can. If he goes out and dominates the way he has during the finals the last couple of years, the way we've seen him at times in Oklahoma City, do what he can do, absolutely. If he raises his game one more level this year, absolutely, I think he can win this year.
I will say this. I know we're only in August. We're almost in September. This is going to be a recurring theme this season. No matter how the Warriors play, even if the Warriors play great and they elevate at a high level, people are like, oh, this means that Durant can leave. This is only the beginning. And we saw his agent react to this. And we know that, Durant hears this. This is his agent, Rich Kleiman. Mm-hmm. He hears this. Durant hears all of this stuff.
Yeah.
This
Check
is
the burners.
like when he elected not to sign a long-term deal. like to do another one-year deal. And because the Warriors are so head and shoulders above everybody else, this is going to be a theme that is really going to dog the Warriors and dog KD the entire season.
Well, KD is going to have to be mentally strong enough to understand that when you're great and when you're associated with greatness, people are going to quote-unquote hate on you. Because for all intents and purposes, the Warriors have the NBA in a headlock. And most of these other teams are struggling to find a way out. Even Adam Silver is struggling to figure out how he can make the league appear to be more competitive. Because, I mean, when they roll out that lineup of Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, Draymond Green, DeMarcus Cousins, they should be able to blow out every team in the NBA by at least 25 points if they want to.
Yes, in the end, as angry as fans may be and some older players may be, maybe some guys in the league like C.J. McCollum, in the end, you get rings.
C.J. McCollum needs to sit his $5 ass down before Kevin Durant make change, you know?
Rings, you get respect. And if Durant keeps racking up the rings, I think he's going to get the last laugh.
Well, speaking.
I think that he's going to get the last laugh too, but he's going to have the discipline to stay on that team, and we'll see. This entire season is going to be a referendum on the level of discipline and the mental stamina that the Warriors have, because some teams just break up because guys get tired of being around one another. That turnover happens on many of these teams. It's been happening since the 80s, even before the free agency era. So sometimes guys just need to spread their wings and search out their fortunes somewhere else. Is that going to happen with certain pivotal players on the Warriors? We'll see. Remember, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, these guys are free agents. So we're certainly going to find out. But anyway, peace.